Hello everyone, welcome to the AWS studio. I'm Gili Lavi and I have with me Shimie. Hello, Hortich. He's the Amdocs Cloud President of Americas and Financial Services, and Chivas Global Manager for General Manager for AWS Telco. And I'm Gili Lavi. I'm the Global Partner Development Manager for Amdocs in AWS. And I'm here again to thank you for a great partnership and great successes that we have. And maybe let's take a while to reflect on the past year since you've been here last, and our growing partnerships since 2018. And talk a little bit about that.
We had a very good year. I think the last year we made a lot of good progress together. If you remember last year when we were here, we were discussing our customers moving to the next phase of the transformation. So if a year ago they were still dealing with some low-hanging fruit, then we said they're going to move now to the core mission-critical system. And in reality, this is exactly what happened in the last year. So we're very happy with the progress that we see with our customer. This partnership with AWS and Amdocs is driving the right results. We had some great success this year. Many customers that decided to take our core Amdocs platform and to move them to the AWS Cloud. I think one good example is in Bell in Canada. We're basically moving together right now the Amdocs existing billing platform, and we move it to the cloud, and with all the benefits that AWS and Amdocs can bring to the customer with this transformation. Much better infrastructure, time to market, obviously it's going to be improved, resiliency, and also they have a very good ROI for this exercise, so they are definitely looking for the financial benefits of this transformation. So an excellent program, and thank you again for all the partnership over there and in other places around the world.
And Chivas, this is what you're saying, right, about leveraging cloud resilience and agility to bring innovation, and in other customers as well, right? For the cloud.
So first of all, thank you, Shimie. I think it has been an amazing partnership. If you look at our journey together, it is working together to get our customers to really think about how they take advantage of the features and the capabilities that you're building that are core to their business, and then building that and deploying that onto the cloud so that they could take advantage of the resilience, the reliability, and the scalability of the cloud. And you mentioned Bell as an example. Yeah. Great example, right? You come in there and you say, okay, I've got this customer that wants to take the capabilities that Amdocs brings to the table, put it in front of my customers much faster. How do I do that? Can I get that consistent rate of change that you are also accelerating on your part of the business? And then the next step here, which is really exciting for us, is as you build these capabilities on the cloud, now you start to take advantage of everything else the cloud has to offer you, whether it is the adjacent analytics, the adjacent Gen AI workloads, because we're now starting to talk about Gen AI in everything we do. And we're excited about how we then take this to all of our customers and help them transform their businesses over time.
And this is a great example that we have success together also in PLDT. It's exactly an example of this modernization. So PLDT, Tier 1 service provider in the Philippines, more than 55 million subscribers. And we're doing their joint modernization with more than 90% of the application not even being Amdocs, but 451 applications that you're moving end-to-end by Amdocs to the AWS Cloud and enjoying. So the goal was to bring the modernization and innovation by utilizing our partnership, but in the AWS Cloud. Maybe you can share about that.
Definitely another great example in PLDT. Very happy with that. For us, it's a great demonstration of the broad portfolio that Amdocs can bring to the table, because we were working together from the first step of defining the strategy together with PLDT and AWS, all the planning phases, then the migration, all the way to cloud operation. So for us, it's a great end-to-end demonstration of this great partnership and doing the end-to-end services. Great story for both of our companies. Yeah.
If I remember right, like almost 70% reduction in the applications that moved over. And so if you think about it, in a normal non-cloud type environment, when you try to make these transitions, they're hard because you have captive infrastructure, you have captive processes. Amdocs has been able to come in and get the workloads moved over. But the thing I'm really excited for you is, and this has been a 3-year journey for me personally when I've been at AWS, is really watching the Amdocs teams build deep technical competence in this type of migration. And now we're absolutely excited about the work you're doing with us at Dish, at T-Mobile, at multiple other places where you're doing the transformation on behalf of their customers and just accelerating their path.
Yeah, and as Gili mentioned, 90% of the applications are not necessarily Amdocs applications. So I think it's a good appreciation of the customer to our cloud capabilities and the deep expertise that we have on running on AWS. I also think we did a very good job in the planning over there. So some of the application we did rehost, some of them we did refactoring, some of them replatforming. Exactly. And they're very happy when AWS and Amdocs are also bringing them the new way of working. You know, CI/CD, everything as a code, 100% DevOps. The program is 100% DevOps implementation. So I think they're also happy with the way AWS and Amdocs are also introducing the new ways of working. That's another fringe benefit for this transformation.
Yeah, and that's how we all want to work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants to go back to the traditional way of like, you get all these requirements, you spend years, months defining that and then going out.
Yeah, but they look at AWS to lead the way. Yep. To look at Amdocs to help to lead the way, and I think it's a good demonstration of how we help them, help us.
We actually launched in DTW with PLDT the ACMP, which is the cloud managed platform that Amdocs is running on AWS, generative AI driven. So it's very interesting. And those are mainly two good examples of enterprise IT transformation, right? Bell and PLDT. And maybe, Shimie, you want to share a little bit about your investment in IT transformation?
As you remember, we said all the time, you know, we are here for our customers to help them in any kind of a journey. So it doesn't matter where you start, on what kind of application you're running today. It could be the latest and greatest of Amdocs, is already cloud native, working on AWS already, but it could also be a system that we implemented 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and then we need to have a different journey to help them move to the cloud. But we are committed as a company to define this journey, any journey, together with AWS, how to move to the future. What we heard in the last year a lot is customers coming to us and say, help us on the mainframe. Help us on the mainframe domain. We want to move it to the cloud. So what we did in order to address it, we did acquisition of a company called Astadia. Now they're part of Amdocs. They brought a very unique talent and expertise and technology that is specializing in moving mainframe to the cloud. And now we started to engage with customers to try to help them in this domain. I think the value proposition of AWS on one hand, the Astadia unique knowledge and technology, and the Amdocs broad portfolio of services can make it work for our customers, which are very nervous on moving mainframe. But I think now that we join forces, I think we are going to have a very interesting value proposition for our customers.
So indeed, it's a great journey that we're doing together. And these were just some examples, right? So around BSS, OSS core transformation, we did also Vodafone Romania this year, and Kyivstar, and T-Mo moved beyond BSS to OSS. But also we have different flavors of the journeys, right? So in T-Mo, we launched the Doxy.
Maybe let's talk about that a little bit, right? So if you think about existing IT footprints and companies, in many cases, our customers who are telcos, they've come together through a lot of acquisitions. And so they have, I talked to somebody yesterday that said they had 22 different billing systems. And you probably know who that is because I said 22. But if you think about that and you say, well, how do I take out all of that technical debt that's sitting in my ecosystem? Because I'm not able to move as fast as I can. Because think about it, if I have to go make a change that's customer facing, and I have to touch 22 or some small number of business billing systems, it's not workable. And so the work that we're doing together at customers like T-Mobile, where you come in and say, no, let me define for you the next path, right? Let me help build that next path for you. Sometimes with your brand new like SaaS-enabled solutions, we're able to get the changes that they want much faster into the environment. Like that's such a winner for our customers.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and I think this is a good segue to talk about how we see it ahead, even progressing in light of our partnership, of course. And Chivas, you've written a great article with the focus in telco for the focus domains. And I want to choose 3 main domains that are in 2024. So, of course, generative AI is one of them. We cannot neglect that. And network and SaaS. But let's start with the first one and talk about how we see our partnership and in light of this. So the first one is Gen AI. Generative AI.
There's no way to do this discussion
without AI. Of course. So we are here at MWC. This is day 3. I don't think I've had a conversation here that has not included generative AI.
A few times.
A few times. We're excited about what generative AI means for the industry. I think we as an industry have collected data in our systems, in our processes for decades with the promise of saying, yes, this data is going to help us move faster, it's going to help us personalize our experience for our customers, and that it's going to find us opportunities to grow revenue. We've struggled, right? And what generative AI is giving us is a little bit more of a glimpse of reality of that promise, where you can kind of say, no, I can keep all the data where it is, but I can now start to talk to it. I can start to have it interrogate what's going on and really give me a human view of that data that's then usable. And the velocity at which this transformation is happening is incredible. 6 months ago, we would have been having a very different conversation. Now, we're talking about, okay, what kinds of models, which models work best for which use cases, and then our partnership with Amdocs, the exciting thing here is like we are building for you the capabilities that you need to go out and build all of the use cases that your customers need, our joint customers need. And there's a critical piece here, right? Because the choices we're making around models, we may not want to switch it over time very quickly. And so you need a platform that allows you to do that. I think with Bedrock and SageMaker, you've been able to do that and have been able to showcase it. Over time, really excited about where we're going to work together on this. What's your thought?
I fully agree with you. It's a great opportunity to finally leverage the data, as you said. It's been there, it's been in data lakes, it's been everywhere, but maybe now we have a great opportunity to do something significant with that. What we did in Amdocs in order to address it is we came up with what we call the Amdocs amAIz framework, working together with AWS, Bedrock, and partnering together. What we are trying to do is two things basically in the Amdocs amAIz platform. A is to make sure that it's a telco-oriented framework. Because it's very nice to have Gen AI in general, but if you want to leverage it for telco, it has to be specific for telco. So we spend a lot of time and energy to build a telco taxonomy into the framework. The other thing that we have to make sure together, and this is our joint responsibility, that it's a carrier-grade platform. We cannot allow our customers to be in a situation with all the excitement about Gen AI that one customer is going to call and is going to get answer A, and another customer is going to use Gen AI and is going to get answer B. It doesn't work. We have to keep the reputation of our customers. So a framework that is what we call carrier-grade. It's secure, it's accurate, it deals with the data privacy and other things that we always do for this industry. We have to make sure that the platform is robust. So these are the two main focus of Amdocs over the last 6 months, to build this platform. And now, as you said, we're starting to implement all kinds of use cases, and you see a lot of excitement from our customers. Very good use cases. It's just the beginning. Everyone is experimenting. Nothing is yet fully in production and working, but we are making very good progress together. So thank you for that.
Thank you also for the partnership. Actually, we're showcasing here a must-see demo, if you're still here, a good example of a practical example of generative AI with network and service orchestration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of the few hot or popular use cases that are getting a lot of traction right now with customers. So we're demonstrating it here together with AWS, a great use case. I would say there are maybe 3, 4, 5 use cases right now that are getting a lot of traction, but it's moving so fast. So.
But you've done some amazing work in taking customer journeys and figuring out how to use generative AI to look at all of your data in those journeys and create next best actions, next best offers for your end customers, right? It's hard to do that kind of work with classical AI. And what you've done, it's incredible, and I'm pretty excited about how you're building it with us.
Another example exactly for that is what we're doing in Globe with the connected customer journey and Stellar Element and Amdocs Company, exactly for next best experience. Yeah. So great examples with AI, and really the imagination and sky and cloud is the limit. We just started.
Yeah, the journey just started.
So maybe moving to the next focus area around network, and maybe share your view a little bit and see what we're doing there.
Yeah, across networks, we are at a point where we've started to cloudify key parts of the network, and it is going to be a long-term journey, right? If you think about where we started looking at OSS and BSS workloads, which we've been working on together for a long time now. You've got tremendous experience helping customers go through this journey and this transformation. We've been starting to do things that are core to the network, in mobile networks. And as we have done a couple of announcements here, we've been talking about the radio access networks as well. So we are seeing a transformation of core elements of the network into the cloud, and we're bringing cloud principles to it. Same way, right? We're bringing telco principles back into the cloud. To your point about being carrier grade, we need this to work. And we're excited about like Amdocs being a partner that helps customers go through this journey longer term.
Yeah, definitely AWS is leading the way, and we are happy that you give us the opportunity to become your prime SI and to do some work around those deployment of
IPW.
So definitely very happy to be part of this journey.
And like the innovation we're doing in Chichen Itza for
this is a great example. You know, we want to be part of the private network, and what we did in Mexico is a great example, but we want to expand it more, to replicate it and bring it to other areas. This one was more about augmented reality.
Right.
Now we're looking for other examples on network tools and other that we can take to other places, but definitely very interesting progress there.
But I also want to call out, like in core network transformation work with one of the tier ones in the US, like you and I, we've been partnering on this. It's been incredible how quickly Amdocs has become a trusted party in that transformation and long-term operational role for that tier one. So kudos to you. Thank you for partnership and the support. We couldn't have done it without you.
I think again, it's this partnership between the two companies going for several years. I think we know how to work together. We know how to hand over to each other. The leading technology of AWS is definitely helping. And our people gain a lot of knowledge and expertise in AWS over the years. So we're very happy with this progress.
And I'm very busy, thanks to that, so thank you. So maybe the last focus area is around SaaS. So just at reInvent, Amdocs were awarded with the prestigious AWS Award for Design Partner of the Year in EMEA for your digital brand suite, which is now called ConnectX, and basically the digital BSS that is running solely on AWS. And we have a great momentum with that across LATAM, EMEA, and US as well. And maybe you want to talk about your SaaS.
Yeah, so I think that's another dimension to this partnership. I think we had like 5 wins together.
Just recently.
Just recently.
Just the last few months.
So it's getting a lot of good momentum. But this is not the only area. So yes, our digital brand solution is definitely leading the way right now. I don't know if you were in the Mobile World Congress. They have the MVNO Summit. And they were talking a lot about this.
We had a joint panel there.
Yeah, there was a joint panel, so everyone talks about it right now. So it gets a lot of momentum, so we're happy with that. But we have other SaaS solutions that we're working together. The billing experience that we are running as a SaaS right now is also getting very good momentum. And others, so definitely pushing the SaaS solution
and all on our marketplace, I mean. So
correct.
Maybe you want to share a little bit from your view how you see the SaaS.
Yep. Our industry has traditionally taken innovation from our ISV partners, right? So the faster Amdocs is able to take all the things that we've been talking about around generative AI, about APIs being exposed from the network, and build these solutions and deliver it, the faster our telco customers and operators can take advantage of it. But I would not bet on anyone else to come in and say, if they're not going SaaS, you can't get these out to the operator fast. And you're making deep investments to go down this path, and you can see it in the wins. So thank you for that. And then as you build it on top of AWS, you mentioned security a little while ago, like it's job zero for us, right? And making sure all of that data in the SaaS environments is protected to both our satisfaction, but also more importantly, our customer satisfaction is super important. All of the constructs we have and the frameworks we have that help you move fast. You push us, which is good. As a customer, you have a lot of power to push us and ask us for the right things, and we continue to be excited about the partnership.
It is really exciting, I have to say, and thank you for sharing this. And I just can't wait to look ahead what this next year will bring for us. Thank you. Thank you for coming here.
Just have to make sure that you invite me next year.
On my list.
On your list. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shimie. Thank you, Chivas.